Whoa, hi guys, what are you doing here? I wasn't expecting you today. So I'm JB, this is my Fitness Reclaimed. I do all my recording here for my videos, but today I'm going to be giving you a tour of everything that I've built out of pallets in my home. Should we go? Let's do it. Welcome to my bed, and this is my lovely dog Yoli. So this bed I made when me and my ex-partner were moving into our first flat. The whole reason that I built this is because I didn't want a bog standard bed. I wanted something that was sturdy, strong, big, and with ample storage, which this has got on both sides and the front. So to build this bed, it took me approximately 5 days. I'd say about 24 hours in total. There was a lot of work to go into it. I didn't have a plan. It was all in the top of my mind. If I had a plan for it, I think I could have had it done easily in about 8 hours. The reason that I say it took me 5 days is because I wasn't doing it full time along them 5 days. I was spending maybe 4 or 5 hours here and there putting it together and gluing all the parts. The tools that I used for this, I was literally just getting started with woodworking, and I used a electric circular saw, a palm sander, some wood glue, hammer, some nails, a drill, and I think that was about it really. So to make this bed, it was a challenge because I didn't have any plans to build it. So for anyone that is a beginner, I'd recommend having a rough design on building it, because I would not recommend it as one of your first projects. This is more an advanced woodworker project. Let's go on to the next one. We're going to my bathroom now. I'm not going to get into the bath, but I made this awesome bath paddy a while ago. I'll put a link above in the description, and this is perfect for anybody wanting to relax in the bath with a glass of wine, a book and a candle. So to build this, it took me all of half an hour to 45 minutes, and the tools that I used to build this were just a handsaw, a combi drill with a spade bit, a hammer, and that's pretty much it. To make this project, it was really easy, I'm not gonna lie. So anyone that is new to woodworking, I would highly recommend you give this a go, because it is so easy to build and it's so fun, and it'd be perfect to give as a present or even keep it for yourself. And the next one that's in my bathroom is this awesome, I call it a plant hanger, but really you can have towels hanging off of it, just towels or a plant, or anything that you find has purpose in your bathroom. It's quite sturdy, it's not going to shatter the glass, because with most shower screens they are toughened, and the way that I've done this is these planks here are long enough not to cause any issue on the glass. So to build this, it took me no more than 15 minutes. The tools that I used to build this were just a handsaw and a hammer. Obviously with most woodworking projects, you are going to need a pencil and a tape measure. Otherwise, you're not going to know where you're going to cut. This was the easiest project I've ever had to do. No plan involved, no thinking, literally just measure and cut. So, should we go and take a walk into my office? Let's do it. Hi, girl. Yeah, good girl. Come on. Actually, we won't go to my office first. I built this, wow, about 2 years ago. I haven't done a video on it yet, but I will do one soon. The reason that I built this is just so it gives me a little bit more storage space in my property, because I haven't got any storage space here. To build this project, it took me, I'd say, two hours, no more than that. I had to allow longer for the drying time of the glue, because I haven't used any nails to fix these together. I would recommend this for a beginner. Make yourself a plan, draw it out, just so when you start putting this together, things don't not turn out the way that you want them to. The tools that I used for this were just a chop saw, wood glue, and that's pretty much it. The rest of it's glued, apart from these top planks, which I did use a hammer and nails, so I'll lie on the first bit. I'll take that back. And now we go to my office. Let's do it. So guys, almost stacked it. This is my production space. I've got amazing views. I've got my crystals, which gives me unreal healing energy. I do make music, or I try to make music, as well as making these videos and running my own business at the same time. The whole reason that I made this is, if you have a look over by my sliding doors, I wanted to have my desk over there, so I had the view of the sun coming through the window. But recently, I found out it works here. But more to the purpose, the reason that I built this is because of this angle here. I wanted it so when I'm at my office doing work, I could look directly out of the double glazed windows of the sliding door. This was a very complicated project. The only reason, again, same with the bed, I didn't have any plans for this. I built this from an idea in my mind. I would recommend anyone that's building this, again, draw yourself out some plans and get a rough sketch. So to make this project, it took me, I'd say about four hours. And the tools that I used for this were a chop saw, hammer and nails, wood glue, and the other thing that I have in my office, I've got 3 things actually. I've got this awesome office organizer. I am going to be doing a video on this soon. So for any of you that have got plenty of paperwork, this is absolutely ideal. So the time that this took me, I'd say about 2 to 3 hours. It's funny, isn't it, that the little projects tend to take the same amount of time as a large project. That's because you'll find that they are a lot more fiddly. The tools that I used for this were a chop saw, a hammer, nails, wood glue. I would highly recommend anyone that wants to learn how to make pallet furniture, make this, and it's just a cool little feature for your bedroom, office, any storage space. The next one, I've got this pallet unit. I made this about 4 years ago when me and my partner were moving into our first property. So to make this, it will take you a couple of hours, not long at all. Obviously you need to let the varnish and the wood glue go off, which will add the time, but to make it in total, a couple of hours. The tools that I used for this were wood dowels, a chop saw and a hammer. Not much really, not much at all. And the next one that we have, but it isn't part of an office, is my alcohol unit. Obviously I don't recommend drinking alcohol while doing office work because you won't get much done. This was such a cool little project to make. I would highly recommend this to anyone that's new to woodworking. It took me all of about an hour to build. Again, just allow yourself a little bit more time for wood glue to go off and the varnish to go off. Tools that I used for this were just a chop saw, hammer and nails. Pretty much, I'm not going to go through all the tools that I used for the projects because they're pretty much the same tools that you need for every pallet project that you're going to be doing. The next one is this amazing stack box. You might have seen a video for this that I've done recently. I'll put a link above and a link below. What's so cool about it is it might look like one whole box, but when you lift this up, you've got 2 boxes. And you can store, I've got in this, the essentials, food. And in this one, potatoes. So on a cold winter's day, when I need warming up, I just put this in the oven, wrap some tin foil around it and stick it in my pocket and it keeps me warm all day. This took me about an hour to build. It was really fun to do. I would highly recommend a beginner building it. Again, there is a video on my channel and I also have plans for this on Etsy where you can build it yourself following the plans that I have. Also, the tools that I used for this were pretty much the same tools that I put on every other project that I've worked on in my home. Right, I think we're running out of time. Pardon my dad joke. This one was a really fun project to do. It took me all of about 20 minutes to half an hour. Again, it's the fiddly projects that tend to take more, or the smaller projects that tend to take longer time. So with this project, I made a fatal error. When I was tracing out the Roman numerals onto the clock, I mentioned in the video to make sure you have the Roman numerals the right way. But instead, I put the 3 where the 9 should have been and the 9 where the 3 should have been. So if you are building this and you have seen my video, you might have spotted it. If you haven't, you've spotted it now. The tools that I used for that were not so much a tool, this is a material. The clock mechanism itself, you can get that on Amazon. A handsaw, wood glue, hammer, nails, the usual suspects. So let's go cooking. This one was such a cool little one to do. Took me all of about 15 minutes to do. It holds your utensils in. Got a piece on the bottom there. This is so easy to do if you just want a quick woodworking project. All I used were a handsaw, hammer and nails and some wood glue down the edges. Awesome. Cool. And the next one, I made this one a few years ago. This is just a standard box. I store all my veg in this one. Took me all of half an hour to build. The tools, again, the same tools that you're going to need when you're making pallet furniture. I'm sure I don't have to mention that now. I would highly recommend this for any new woodworker. To make this, it took me all about 20 minutes. A quick, simple project. And yeah, not much effort. Let's go to my chill space. Welcome to my chill space. Now, the one that I want to show you, I made this about 3 years ago after going on a course using epoxy. This was, I'm not going to lie, it was quite difficult to do. I didn't have that much space to do it in, and being a new woodworker and being new to epoxy, I was very finicky and particular on how I wanted it done. If I had a little bit more experience with epoxy, I think it might have been more quicker to do, but I think I made it a little bit more complicated than what it should have been. This took me, with the drying time as well for the epoxy, took me about a day to do. I'm not going to go so much into the tools that I use for this, but as you can guess, epoxy, which comes as a liquid, a sander, a router. But yeah, it was really fun to do, and it just looks, it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and when the light shines off of this and shines through it, it just makes it such a masterpiece. Right, I don't know whether you've guessed by now, but I do like my houseplants. I blame the Jungle Haven for this one because she has got me addicted to houseplants ever so slightly. I decided to make some houseplant pots. You can use these outside. Just make sure that you treat it with clear preserver, which is external clear preserver. This took me all of about 20 minutes to build. The tools that I used for this were all the same standard tools that every other wood project that I've done and I've gone through with this, and it literally fits perfect the plant pots. One thing that I am making at the moment are these fantastic little water bowls. I'm not going to go too much into detail how I make these because it is a secret project of mine, and they will become available soon on my Etsy store to go with the plant pots, which are already on my Etsy store. Again, I'll put a link below. But yeah, keep your eyes out. The one below it is the exact same as my alcohol shelf, but instead of alcohol, I've got plants. We like plants. But yeah, these are my lovely variegated monsteras. 4 years ago, I wouldn't have had a clue what they were, apart from my only plant, which was the jade, which started off about that big and is huge, which I'll take you to in a minute. I know it's not a pallet, but it's such a beautiful house plant. It's so easy to look after. Let's go. This is my magnificent jade. I've had her since she was literally that big. I bought her on eBay and it was sent in the post. And yeah, now she's such a healthy plant. The reason that I got my jade is because it comes with good luck and prosperity. So I would recommend this for any household. And it's so easy to look after. Just give it water once in a while. Done. Hello. Welcome to my outside. This one I done a quick 3-minute video, which was time-lapse a while ago. Again, another video that's on my channel. This is my awesome compost bin. The reason I made this is because the bit of land that I live on is quite large, and I can literally fill that up with grass right after I cut it. The cool thing about this compost bin is I can lift these out and take the compost out as and when I need it. This comes all the way down, so I can lift every one of these up individually. It took me no more than half hour to an hour to build. I love using pallets because I don't know if you've seen my videos lately, but I love that rustic look. Not only that, it's really good for the environment, because what you'll find is a lot of pallets are just dumped to the side and never used again. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed my house pallet tour. I have got so many more great projects to come. Some of them will include a freestanding bike rack. So if you live in a studio apartment, if you live in a rented property and don't want to be drilling into the walls, this is going to be perfect for you. In the spring, I'm going to be stripping my van out and making it into a pallet camper van almost. Some more planty shelves. My pallet bed, I'm going to be stripping that down, using the pallets that I've got there and rebuilding that, which will make it look like, I'm not going to give that secret away, but you'll find out if you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be remaking my desk so it looks more fitting for the space that it's in, as well as so many other great projects that I really hope that you guys at home will enjoy and build yourself. The whole reason that I'm doing these videos for you is to help you along your journey in woodworking. But if you are new to woodworking, sit back, enjoy and build them yourself. Until next time, see you then.